Mr. Young, recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I thank you for bringing up H.R. 538. It contains a number of measures proposed by the tribes to reduce bureaucratic obstacles that hinder our efforts to develop energy and other national resources on their lands. While this bill does not solve any problem or every problem for tribal faces, it's a good start. It's based on the principle that a tribe, not the federal government, is the best steward of its lands. On this note, the GAO recently issued a report titled Indian Energy Development. Poor management of BIA has hindered energy development in Indian lands. According to the report, quote, Indian energy resources hold significant potential for development, but remain largely underdeveloped, even with considerable energy resources. According to a 2014 Interior document, Indian energy resources are undeveloped relative to surrounding non-Indian resources. While the report details many of BI deficiencies in its management of Indian trust lands, all the deficiencies stem from one simple but outdated principle, that an Indian cannot enter into a lease on his own free will without the approval of the BIA. The federal government owns the title to the Indian land in trust, and the federal government always has the final say as to whether the Indian owner may use it. But the problem that tribes face is worse than ordinary bureaucratic delay. It's sometimes worse in the sense of neglect. In the government, the pay is always the same, whether or not the Indian energy lease is approved on a timely basis. This system, which stems from 18th and 19th century conditions and policies, today brings little or no value to the tribes. If a federal review and approval of energy leases created by economic value, then private landowners and state governments would be clamoring to have their projects reviewed and approved by the federal government too. There are 56 million acres of land held in trust by the federal government for the benefit of American Indians. There's also 44 million acres of land owned by the state of Alaska Native corporations. It's estimated up to 10% or more of our nation's energy is contained on native lands. Yet tribes are far behind non-Indian landowners in terms of producing energy from their lands. H.R. 538 brings relief to Indian tribes, Alaska Native corporations whose measures they propose. The bill streamlines appraisal of Indian lands and sanitizes the Interior Department's process of tracking mineral activities on Indian lands. H.R. 538 amends the National Environmental Policy Act to reflect the fact that Indian lands are not public lands and deters frivolous lawsuits filed against Indian energy development. It also established a tribal biomass demonstration project, addresses a problem facing certain timber tribes, allows the Navajo Nation the opportunity to manage its mineral leasing under the Hearth Act principles. And finally, the bill prevents the Interior Department from imposing hydraulic fracking rules on Indian trust lands without the consent of the Indian owners. H.R. 538 is supported by the major tribal organizations, Indian tribes, including the National Congress of American Indians. To the best of my knowledge, no tribe opposes the bill. In fact, I know no opposition to the bill except for one entity, the Department of Interior. While the current administration's hostility to approving tribal control over mineral development on Indian lands is disappointing, it's not surprising to me. Let's pass H.R. 538 and improve the opportunities, jobs, and energy resources for the benefit of Native Americans and for the people of the United States. This is good legislation, Mr. Chairman. I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you.